Caitlyn Clark plays against arguably one of the greatest players in women's basketball in Diana Taurasi. This is what she had to say at practice. Let's take a listen.
Caitlyn, with tomorrow being the first matchup in your career against Diana Taurasi, does that bring any sort of extra excitement for you?
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's just somebody I grew up, idolizing and, looking up to and wanting to be like one day. So, obviously she's one of the greatest players our game has ever seen, greatest scorer our game has ever seen. So
now, Taurasi arguably is one of the greatest scorers in WNBA history. I mean, she's been prolific from the three-point line. I mean, that goes without question. But it seems like she's done her homework.
For me, I'm excited. That's fun. It's almost kind of like a dream come true in a way. You get to live out your dream while playing against the best. One of the best there ever has been. So it's fun for me, for sure.
Now, for a competitor like Caitlyn, playing against a legend like Taurasi, I feel like she will live up to the moment, just knowing her and knowing the fact that she enjoys the bright lights. She enjoys living up to those big crowds and hearing those roars and those cheers. And there will be a lot of people rooting against her. Even though the Clark fan base travels well, this seems like this will be a game where a lot of people will be rooting against her. So similar to the Chicago game, Angel Reese and Diana Taurasi have very loyal fan bases. And that fan base spans as long as 20 years. So that'll be something interesting to see. Just keep note of that in the game. Clark also just speaks about some of the fondest memories that she's had were watching Taurasi play when she was a younger kid.
Honestly, probably nothing super specific, obviously, but definitely my first memory of the WNBA. Like I said, she's the greatest scorer this game has ever seen. And I think just the fire and the passion that she plays with, I admire that.
I'm happy that Caitlyn acknowledged that fiery aspect of Taurasi, because similar to her, I feel like the two of them are very similar comparables. They both are very fiery, they both are long-range distance snipers, and they both are relentless. The fact that Clark is doing this type of damage this far early in her rookie year, there will be problems for the league when she develops as a player, or as she develops as a player rather, because she right now is already on a transcendent pace.
Obviously, she's done everything that she's needed to do to continue to play at such a high level, take care of her body, continue to perform at the highest level. I think about it as my rookie year, it's incredible to think she's been in this league for 20 years. That's just super cool. It's a feat that not a lot of people will ever accomplish in their career, but for her to do that and to continue to do it at a high level is pretty, I don't know if there's going to be many people to be able to do it like her.
I also thought it was worth a note, the fact that Caitlyn thought it was very cool, the fact that Taurasi's career spans 20 years and that she's still giving buckets to this day.
Honestly, probably nothing super specific, obviously, but definitely my first memory of the WNBA. Like I said, she's the greatest scorer this game has ever seen. And I think just the fire and the passion that she plays with, I admire that. She's a competitor, and the way she's been able to play this game at the highest level for as many years as she has is pretty incredible. It's hard to nail down a specific memory exactly, but growing up, I always watched games, so I think just as a young kid, I would say just in general, I loved watching her, but it wasn't anything specifically that I really remember.
I think it's hard to nail down a specific memory because she was always outside hooping and working on her craft. So I thought that part was funny, but if I could interject, one of my favorite memories of Taurasi and her career, one of my favorite games is the opening night game she had against Maya Moore, where the two of them were locked in on a duel. Now, Maya and her team came up victorious, but it was just them two back and forth. And I have Maya ranked as my greatest player of all time. I have Taurasi at number 3 behind Candace Parker. So just seeing two players that I felt like were on my Mount Rushmore compete and go against each other was just arguably fun to watch. And additionally, there were some other things that Caitlyn said at practice. So I want y'all to take a listen to this. So the reporter asked Caitlyn Clark about her expectations and about what she expects to do in games. And I thought this was very telling. This kind of peeled back the curtain a little bit on her mentality.
Expecting to win and expecting to be at the highest level every single time. I feel like if you have the opportunity to play in this league, that's what's expected of you. This is your job. There shouldn't be people pulling, you know, strings for you to get to play hard, for us to play hard as a team. So for me, like, just come out here and continue to play the game that I always have.
She mentioned the fact that she wants her teammates to make sure that they're not being pulled in order to work hard, which I just thought was very Kobe-esque, very Diana Taurasi-esque, to say the least. Caitlyn had a lot of praise for Diana. I mean, she talked about the fact that her career spanned over 20 years. I mean, it's just been a lot to see, and it's just been great to just listen to and just refreshing. On the other hand, I'm going to leave the clip. This is what Diana Taurasi had to say about Caitlyn Clark. I'm going to just leave it there. Hey, if the vets want to do what they want to do, so be it. The game is tomorrow. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the game tomorrow?